Week 28 Day 1. A dangerous sport. Racing car drivers are vulnerable to dangers that other sportsmen seldom face. Drivers agree that controlling a car at top speeds on a winding course is a singularly awesome experience. There is the bedlam caused by the roaring motors that move the car from a standing start to 100 miles an hour in 8 seconds. One is shaken by the cacophony of the brakes, larger than the wheels, and producing during the course of a 350-mile race enough heat to warm an 8-room house through a hard winter. The driver needs to be on the alert to exploit any mistake by an opponent, and he must be constantly aware of the propinquity of sudden death. All of this makes car racing one of the most demanding games of all. How was your recall today? Did you spot vulnerable as a reintroduced word? Sample sentences. 1. Astronauts are alert to the propinquity of sudden accidents. 2. The egotist is vulnerable to slights and insults. 3. Electronic music is considered nothing more or less than cacophony by many. 4. Advertisers spend large sums to exploit the lucrative teenage market. 5. The winning team's dressing room was a scene of bedlam. Week 28 Day 2. The mystery of creativity. In order to create, it is said that a man must be disgruntled. The creative individual is usually one who is dissatisfied with things as they are. He wants to bring something new into the world, to make it a different place. There is no infallible way to identify a potentially creative person. The speed up in the sciences has forced schools and industry to seek a panacea for the shortages that they face. The need to discover and develop the creative person has been the source of much study. The paramount objectives of the studies are to eradicate anything that will impede the discovery of creative talent and to exploit this talent to the limit. Sample sentences. 1. It is the prevalent mood for youngsters to be disgruntled with the world's situation. 2. Many people hope that the United Nations would be the panacea for the problems of our time. 3. The criminal tried to eradicate all of the witnesses to the bizarre murder. 4. An infallible sign of spring is the blooming of the crocus. 5. Nothing could impede the bigot from his vitriolic verbal attack. Week 28 Day 3. The Dutch. The first impression one gets of Holland is that it is a calm, sedate, and simple land. The slow rhythm of life is even seen in the barges on the canals and the bicycles on the roads. One gradually discovers this equanimity of daily existence is not in accord with the intrinsic nature of the Dutch. These people are moved by strong feelings that are not compatible with the serenity of the world around them. There is a conflict between the rigid, traditional social rules and the desire for liberty and independence, both of which the Dutch revere. Sample sentences. 1. There is something absurd about a well-dressed, sedate man throwing snowballs. 2. The serenity of the countryside was shattered by the explosion. 3. The speaker lost his equanimity and began to use invective when the audience started to laugh. 4. The boy and girl discovered they had many compatible interests. 5. There are not many people in this world whom one can revere. Week 28 Day 4. Tulip Fever. The tulip reached Holland in 1593 and was, at first, looked upon as a curiosity. There soon developed an irrational demand for new species. Specimens were sold at awesomely high prices. In their avarice, speculators bought and sold the same tulip 10 times in one day. The entire Dutch population suffered from the craze. There was an insatiable desire for each new color or shape. At one point a man purchased a house for 3 bulbs. Before long the inevitable crash came and the demand for bulbs quickly reached its nadir. A $1,500 bulb could be bought for $1.50. With the moribund tulip market came financial disaster to thousands of people. Sample sentences. 1. Who is not vulnerable to some measure of avarice? 2. The American consumer appears to have an insatiable need for new products. 3. He looked upon the last place finish of his team with equanimity. From this nadir the only place to go was up. 4. We ought to expect some irrational behavior from a senile person. 5. With the expansion of the supermarket, the small, local grocery store is in a moribund state.